Welcome to Pride Reviews, stories that break barriers. Characters that stay with you long after the credits roll. These are the best LGBTQ plus movies on Amazon Prime. Bold, emotional, and unforgettable. Get ready for a cinematic journey like no other. This television movie from writer-director Alan Ball follows a road trip between Manhattan and Creekville, South Carolina. 18-year-old Beth Bledsoe, Sophia Lillis, struggles to find a connection with most of her family, which is why her bond with Uncle Frank, Paul Bettany, who also happens to be a professor at her college, is so strong. With a funeral on the horizon, the two set off on the road, only to be unexpectedly joined by Frank's lover, Waleed, Peter McDesai. Heartwarming and honest, Uncle Frank is easily one of the best television movies in recent years, illustrated by its primetime Emmy nomination. From minute one, this tale grips its audience and never lets go, providing a brief summary of the peculiar frustrations of life, all wrapped up in a neat love-soaked package. Featuring a host of terrific performances, highlighted by a stunning turn from Bettany as the titular character, this is one that's well worth a watch. My Fake Boyfriend is a Canadian romantic comedy film written by Luke Albright, Greg Boalden, and Joe Wanjai-Ross, directed by Rose Troche. Andrew has a major problem. He can't stay away from the toxic boyfriend who just dumped him. His meddling friends decide to help him by creating Cristiano, a perfect fake boyfriend, on social media. However, things soon spiral out of control when Andrew meets his real-life dream guy and Cristiano becomes a worldwide sensation. Funny, amusing, and thrilling, they are absolute scene stealers. Their chemistry and comedic timing are spot on, making the movie even more enjoyable. Just Friends is a Dutch romantic comedy television film directed by Ellen Smit. Joris is a 21-year-old Dutch man trying to come to terms with loss of his father 10 years earlier. His strong-willed, conservative, and slightly racist mother is no help. She is caught up in her own emotions over her philandering late husband. Meanwhile, Yad, a 26-year-old Syrian refugee whose family settled in the Netherlands, is employed to do chores for Joris' grandmother. He has his own issues with his traditional upbringing and his dream to be a surfing instructor. Running his own business goes against the expectation that he continue his studies in medicine. Despite different ages, backgrounds, and lifestyles, there is an instant spark between the two. Drawn together through music and sports, mainly surfing, their feelings for each other grow, and they become more than just friends. Based on a novel by Bethan Roberts, My Policeman follows a retired couple, Marion, Gina McKee, and Tom, Linus Roach, whose dormant, routine lives are awoken by the arrival of their old friend, Patrick, Rupert Everett, who is staying with them to recover from a stroke. However, their lives have been intertwined previously, with a secret romance between Patrick and Tom some 40 years prior causing drama once again. An intricate tale of love and deception, My Policeman is an underrated British gem that showcases many a top performance. Among them is the often criticized Harry Styles, whose portrayal of a young Tom proves once and for all that his talents are not limited to music. A poignant, intimate story with plenty of heart. This is a movie that deserves much more attention and is a wonderful addition to Prime's catalog. Directed by the acclaimed Park Chan-wook, The Handmaiden is set during the Japanese occupation of Korea in the 1930s and follows Suki, Kim Tae-ri, a woman hired as the handmaiden for Japanese heiress Lady Hideko, Kim Min-hee. Posing as a loyal employee, Suki is actually a professional pickpocket whose plan to scam and steal from the family takes an unexpected turn when she and Lady Hideko begin to fall in love. The fact that love can come from the most unexpected of places is a sentiment at the forefront of The Handmaiden. Each narrative bend feels bathed in emotional maturity, with this twisting story just as interested in surprise as it is in tender emotion. Devilishly comic and visually stunning, The Handmaiden is proof of Park Chan-wook's genius, not that it needed proving. Based on Casey McQuiston's New York Times bestseller of the same name, Red, White, and Royal Blue follows a rivalry between the offspring of two of the most powerful people in the world. Son of the U.S. President Alex, Taylor Zahar Perez, and the British Prince Henry, Nicholas Galitzine, grandson of the king, hate nothing more in this world than each other, but are forced to get along to avoid a PR disaster. However, what happens when a forced friendship begins to spark into romance? Featuring two brilliant lead performances by a pair of eye-catching actors, Perez and Galitzine, Red, White, and Royal Blue also boasts an exciting turn from the legendary Uma Thurman as Alex's mother, Ellen, who also happens to be the first ever female president. Poignant, often funny, and ready to make you cry, millions of unsuspecting viewers were taken aback by just how immersive this story is, with its success on Prime Video in 2023 well documented. Cassandro. In the macho world of Mexican lucha libre wrestling, exoticos are male fighters who compete in drag. Mostly they are straight, but this heartfelt and sweet drama based on real events tells the story of Saul Armendariz, an openly gay wrestler who shot to fame as an exotico in the early 90s. It gives Gael Garcia Bernal his best role in years. Saul is funny, infectiously upbeat, sometimes heartbreakingly vulnerable. Director Roger Ross Williams made a documentary short about Armendariz in 2016, The Man Without a Mask, which showed how the role of exotico traditionally existed to reinforce negative gay stereotypes. Gael Garcia Bernal is a gift. No matter what he does, he excels. The film demands one to be attentive and sentient, and yes, as others have noted, it will in many cases force you to look up the real Cassandro. The supporting cast is superb in every aspect. This coming-of-age musical comedy drama film, directed by Jonathan Butterill, based on the stage musical of the same name, which in turn was adapted from the BBC Three documentary Jamie, Drag Queen at 16 by Jenny Popplewell. Jamie New is a 16-year-old who doesn't quite fit in. Instead of pursuing a traditional career, he dreams of becoming a drag queen. Uncertain about his future, Jamie knows one thing for sure: he's going to be a sensation. Supported by his loving mother and amazing friends, Jamie overcomes discrimination and bullying to step out of the darkness and into the spotlight. Touching, inspiring, and positive, full of color, glitter, and joy, whilst also touching at the musical's sadder and darker moments. This romantic drama film, partly based on the 1982 novel Dance on My Grave by Aidan Chambers. During the summer of 1985 in Normandy, Alexis, a 16-year-old who is fascinated by death, goes out to sea. A thunderstorm forms, causing his boat to capsize, but he is rescued by David, who is 18 years old. After this incident, they grow very close, and Alexis ends up helping out at David's family shop. The two end up having a relationship in secret. However, David claims he is bored and has an affair with Alexis' friend Kate. The film alternates between scenes of the two boys' relationship before David's death and scenes of the aftermath of the accident, in which Alex finds healing in writing his story for his trial on his literature teacher's recommendation. Funny, heartwarming, and playful, Summer of '85 is an enjoyable watch. The movie leans into the season and provides for solid vibes. Tell It to the Bees is a British romantic drama film directed by Annabel Jankel. In 1952, Dr. Jean Markham returns to her Scottish hometown to take over her late father's medical practice. She soon becomes ostracized by the community when she begins a passionate romance with a woman who has a young son. Compelling, pleasant, Tell It to the Bees is a cinematic triumph that weaves a spellbinding tale of love, courage, and the resilience of the human spirit. From the very first frame to the last, this film enraptures its audience in a world where emotions unfold like delicate petals, revealing a story that resonates on a profound level. Regarded by many to be Timothée Chalamet's best performance, Call Me By Your Name follows 17-year-old student Elio Chalamet, who falls head over heels for his father's grad student, Oliver Armie Hammer. However, Oliver's feelings are initially unclear, with the two dancing around their clear chemistry and the fear that a doomed romance may blossom. As sparks fly, the pair soon come to terms with the fact that this can be no more than a summer fling, even if it will always mean the world to at least one of them. There's something to be said for a film that neatly captures the wide-eyed innocence and desperate clawing for maturity that comes with being Elio's age, with Call Me By Your Name showcasing this, and then some. Like a gentle breeze, the movie passes by, leaving a tender yet welcome impact that will live long in your mind. For some, this will simply be a lovely film that explores coming of age. For others, it will be the representation they crave for so long. Starring the iconic Robin Williams at his very best, The Birdcage follows the veteran comic as drag nightclub owner Armand, whose long romance with star performer Albert, Nathan Lane, has kept the pair happy on South Miami Beach for many years. However, when Armand's son from a former marriage comes to town to announce his engagement, the lovers must hide their romance, with the bride-to-be the daughter of the U.S. Senator and co-founder of the Committee for Moral Order. As can be expected from a Williams project, The Birdcage is, first and foremost, hilarious. Bursting with clever one-liners and slapstick set pieces, the movie seamlessly dances with glee around a very serious topic, with a subject matter at hand one that, both at the time and now, affects many lives. Perhaps the best illustration of The Birdcage's brilliance is its rewatchability, with fans of the movie coming back time and time again. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the list, don't forget to like, comment your favorites, and subscribe for more movie recommendations. See you in the next one.